cada Good morning, students. Morning.
Good morning, sir.
Morning. How are you all? Okay. Take care. Don't go here and there. Okay. Because many cases are increasing day by day. Stay home. Stay safe. The only thing we can do, right? Next, meanwhile, students will join. Okay, as of now, total 28 students have joined. So, any questions as of now? So, today we are going to see about electric potential. If you have any questions, please. You will be free. Okay. If you have any questions, you can talk, you can take to me. Okay, you can ask, you can discuss with me. Any query or any questions, any problems, you can talk to me, no problem. You should be free, you can speak, you can talk. While giving lecture, not good, but now when I'm asking, you should respond, right? If you have any question or any doubt, or at least you can give a message in chat also. Go through the chat.
Sir,
Yeah, Kalyan.
sir, once you draw the figure of electric charge intensity due to cylindrical surface, sir.
Cylindrical surface. For which one?
Draw only the diagram, Gaussian surface and the diagram, sir.
Okay, okay. Can I show the previous video? Can I play that?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Only the diagram you required?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Either inside or outside?
Inside, outside, sir.
Only outside. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So I will erase this and I will draw. Okay. Because the video also I can play, no problem if you want. Huh? So what is the doubt? Have you gone? The people have started reading material. Again, I will share the soft copy. Okay. The group which Ganesh created, there I will share. Okay. Here I will share it to everyone. And material already I prepared soft copy because typing, there will be some typographical errors. If you find any such typographical errors, please bring to my notice. Okay. Is that okay, guys? Here, drawing as per the request from Kalyan Kumar. Here I'm drawing cylinder. In the last class, we have seen about the electric field intensity due to a charged cylinder we have done. So in that case, we can do for two cases. One is when the point lies inside the cylinder and when the point lies outside the cylinder. So here, when the point lies inside, the diagram will be. So if you want only one of both, I can draw. Can I draw? Kalyan?
Sir, only outside points, sir.
Only outside, right? So when you talk about outside, so here, this is the actual cylinder. Yeah. This is the infinite cylinder we have taken, correct? This is what I said. Okay, so this is the infinite cylinder, and this is the axis, means axis with respect to the cylinder. Okay, so this is the axis, and then the radius of this axis from with the axis to this cylinder. What I given? I said it should be some capital R, I said, correct? So when the point lies outside, suppose here or anywhere, correct? So here, when the point lies on each and every curved surface, it will be similar. So for that, what we did, here we assumed a Gaussian surface, correct? We assumed a Gaussian surface. Just I'm repeating the last class. Okay, on request of Kalyan, I'm drawing this. This is the Gaussian surface with respect to the point outside where it lies outside. This is the Gaussian surface which we can draw with respect to the point lies outside the. Is it okay? And what is the radius? That means this cylinder also, the radius with respect to the axis will be taken. And this radius will be small. Correct? And this is the point where we are taken, that is our point P. And here we are taken, wherever you take on the curved surface, it will be similar. And with respect to the charge present on this is plus Q, I said, correct? And when you take on either side of the caps, with respect to the finite length of this cylinder Gaussian surface which we have taken, okay? So in that case, here if you take the small air element, then the electric lines of force will be in this direction, this side shown, and the small area element with respect to this ds will be in this direction. You draw normal. This is 90 degrees and this is our E. Same representation can be given to this side also. Correct? So this is what I said. This is about ds. Correct? And whereas coming to here, the electric lines of force with respect to this particular point will be outward, and the small area element is also be outward or normal. Correct? So this is the diagram. Any question? Kalyan, is it okay? Same thing I draw, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Right. So this is the diagram. Okay. Anyway, my notes I will share with you. So you will find in that the same diagram. Okay. So only how many people have joined? As of now, total 38 only have joined. What is the reason? Because it's the first hour or what? Just give a message, Ganesh. So
Yes, sir.
Kalyan, can I erase this?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you. So here, after doing this, we got the electric field intensity due to this particular surface. What we got? We got E is equal to, what we got the expression? What is the expression we got?
Rho R
Anyone?
by 2 epsilon.
Yeah, R square rho by 2 epsilon naught R. Right? Only for 37 have joined, 39 have joined. What happened to me? Vinamrita? Vinamrita is going and coming. It is happening. Because there is some problem, I think, with it. Okay, so today I'm going to cover electric potential, and I need another 2 classes to complete this first unit. Okay, because a conductor, dielectric, various different conductors, convection and conduction currents we have to see. Those all things, and Laplace and Poisson's equation, Poisson's and Laplace equation, that also hardly it will take 10 minutes. So in the next class I will complete. Okay. So I think this week we'll complete the first unit and we can start second also. Okay. And after completing the first unit, can I give the numerical or we'll do numericals later? What do you say? So if you want numericals after completing the chapter, I will do, or otherwise after completing second, we'll do it together if required. That also no problem for me. So I'm asking you people. So which will be better? Based on that, I will take. Okay. So you will, there's a time you can think and you can give me your opinion. Okay. So next put heading everyone. So today I'm going to cover about electric potential. Okay. I'm going to cover about electric potential. 39 have joined as of now. Okay, no problem. It's a good number. So I'm starting. So here, the today's topic is what? Electric potential. So anyone can give me what is the potential? Anyone? What is the potential? Anyone can define? No, I'm not asking electric potential. Just define potential. I'm asking. What is potential? Already you know, because you are a electronics engineer students, second year. So basic definition of potential you might know, right? So what is the potential? Anyone of you? If there is any work done happen with some external agent, then that will be called as some potential. But whereas when we talk about electric potential, here we can define the electric potential as electric potential we are calling. So electric potential means work done with due to some external agent, okay, in carrying a current from one place to another place, okay. So that means work done per unit test charge is called as it is called as electric potential. So here before going to this electric potential, we can say it's always a scalar quantity, okay, always it's a scalar quantity. These things you have to keep in mind. Here electric potential is a scalar quantity. Now how this electric potential can be defined, okay. So for this what I'm doing, I will explain to understand each and every one. A normal layman also can understand with this diagram. So here I'm taking the diagram. So let us consider a positive charge. Okay, let us consider a positive charge. Here, so this is my positive charge I have taken, and here with respect to this positive charge, electric lines of force will be in this direction. Correct? Electric lines of force will be in this direction. So I'm saying that this is the direction of electric lines of force. Okay, so now here what I'm doing, already I said force experienced between any two. That means there should be some work done should happen. How this work done should happen. So first of all, whenever you write in exam or whenever you want to read or you want to put it on a paper, then how you have to do? So here you have to assume that let us consider an electric field due to a positive charge. Assuming that there is a second positive charge, the big second positive test charge in that particular field. So here I'm taking one more test charge in this particular field I'm taking, and this is the point where I have taken, and here I'm assuming one more test charge. Okay, this is also P, and here I'm denoting this with some Q0. Okay, plus Q0 I have taken. So now here when these two charges, this is also positive and this is also positive charge. Okay, so I have taken one more positive test charge in that particular field. Now with respect to this test charge, okay, with respect to this test charge, that experiences an electric repulsive force, because already I said both are positive. That means when we take a positive test charge in that particular direction of the field, then what happens? There exists some repulsive force. There exists some repulsive force. Why repulsive force? There is a chance of repulsive force due to this test charge. What is this one? This is our test charge. Correct? So due to this test charge, it experiences some repulsive force. Is it correct or not? Right. Now, to define electric potential, what I am going to do, I want to move this test charge. I want to move this positive test charge towards this charge. Means I am taking this positive test charge near to the charge which I assume in free space. So we can't say directly for this. So what I am doing here, I am taking two such points here. I am taking one point here. I am denoting this as A, and I am taking one more point here that is called point B. Why? Why I have taken these 2 points? Because with this, each and every student, every person can understand easily. Why? Because here in this, what I'm doing with some external agent, that means with some external agent means what? With some external force or energy, what I'm doing, I'm moving or forcibly I'm moving or bringing this positive test charge towards from point B to another point A, from point B to another point A. So towards this direction, correct? So when you bring this test charge from point B to A, then what happens there? It experiences some work done, okay, due to the repulsive force, okay, due to repulsive force, right? Correct? Due to some repulsive force, it experiences some work done, correct? So here I am writing due to some repulsive force, it experiences some work done to be taking place, correct? Repulsive force. What I said, come on, anyone please say? What I said here, I am bringing this. First of all, I assumed a test charge in space, and with respect to this test charge, there is a electric lines of force, and to explain or to define this electric potential, I have taken another test charge, positive test charge. Then what happens? Due to this positive test charge, it experiences a repulsive force. But to explain this, what I am doing, I am bringing with some external agent or external work or external energy. What I am doing, I am bringing this positive test charge from a point B to A. That means I am forcibly moving this test charge from point B to A. When I bring this, what happens? It won't go, but it happens. It takes some work done should be taken place. Okay, due to repulsive force. This is the point which I said, correct? So that means here now we can define this electric force as the ratio of work done, in taking a test charge from one point to another point in an electric field. This is our electric field. In an electric field, right, to the magnitude of the test charge, whichever in free space with this test charge, right? This can be defined as electric potential difference between point A and point B. Now, if I am assuming that W is the work done, okay, so please, you can also draw the diagram and you can write the steps. Is the work done, correct? Okay, in which one, when this work done has taken place, is work done in moving. Okay, what you are moving? You are moving the test charge. When moving the test charge, okay, from point B to, from where? At the same thing which I said, I am writing here, from point B to point A. Correct? So in this case here, then the potential difference can be written as like this. Electric potential always will be denoted by capital V. So now I'm going to write with respect to VB and TA. So here I can write VA and VB with respect to the points. So therefore the potential difference due to this repulsive force can be written as like this, correct? Between A and B. So between A and B, I'm going to write this as VA minus VB is equal to what happened? The sum work done taken place with respect to the test charge, correct? With respect to test charge. So here I'm going to write this, right? So therefore, the potential difference between 2 points A and B will be written as the potential difference between point A and B, that is called VA minus VB, is equal to W, work done per unit test charge. Correct? Any question as of now? If you have any question, please raise. If you don't understand also, I can repeat. If it is okay, then I will go for the next step. Correct? So now, just for 2 seconds, anyone having any question? Is it clear? If it is clear, then I'll go for the next step. Clear, everyone? Can I go for the next step? Suppose this point B, I'm considering that this point at some infinity. It is at some infinity. So then what happens? Suppose the point B taken as a reference point and is chosen at infinity, then the electric potential VB at this infinite will be, how it will be? It will become 0, correct? So electric potential VB will be equal to 0 at infinity. Here I'll write VB becomes 0 when you assume this B reference point is at infinity. If you take this, then VB should be equal to 0. Why it will be equal to 0? Anyone? Because it is at far distance, then there will be no any potential difference between that. Then if it means actually the potential difference takes place, but the reference whenever you want to write, when you bring this from infinite to this, then the VB value will be considered here are arbitrary. It should be 0. Then the potential difference, you bring a point test charge from infinity to near to the positive test charge will be equal to V is equal to W by Q naught. V is equal to W by Q. So this is the where now how you write the definition here, where W is the work done by an external agent. W is the work done by an external agent to carry a test charge, Q naught from infinity to point A, So now instead of here, we are bringing this from infinity to point A like that. Then the potential difference with respect to the rest charge or with respect to the point A will be written as VA is equal to W by Q naught. Okay, so now the definition, how can you define the definition? The electric field, electric potential at a point in the electric field is defined as the work done by an external agent in carrying a unit positive test charge from infinity to that particular point against the force of the field. Against the electric force of the field. So this is called electric potential. And the units will be written for this as work done means it should be in joules, correct? Joule per, and what is this charge? So if you take work done with this one, so we can write joule per coulombs, Okay, and what is electric potential? So this is about 1. So if I take a 1 volt, okay, so if you want to write 1 volt, then it should be written as, so here with electric potential means in terms of volts we denote, correct? If suppose 1 volt should be equal to how much you can write? Joule per coulomb is with respect to the work done when you bring a unit positive test charge from infinity to near to the point A, which is in the electric field. Then this can be written as 1 volt is equal to, how you write? 1 joule per 1 coulomb, correct? So this is called MKS unit. Okay, so here volt means electric potential will be denoted in terms of volts. Okay, when you want to write exactly, then we have to write in this way. And what is this? This is called the MKS unit, okay, of electric potential. Okay, MKS unit of electric potential, okay, or potential difference here. So that means potential difference is units of is volts. But when you want to write in terms of joule per coulomb, then because it's work done, so work done will be denoted in terms of joules and charge will be denoted in terms of coulombs. Here, so this is called, what is this one? Electric potential. So this is the basic definition which I said to you. Now here with the same diagram, because here already it experienced the electric field, correct? Electric field with respect to the positive charge, and this is the electric lines of force, correct? But what happened here? Some potential difference you got when you bring a unit positive test charge from infinity to near to this point, then it experiences. But when you take it is a electric lines of force of a particular surface, then now here I'm going to write this force. That means force is equal to, okay, what is this? Electric lines of force can be written or repulsive force in terms you can call, okay, or coulombic attractive or repulsive. But here it shows clearly both are for same charges, then we have to call it as repulsive force. Then this repulsive force can be written as electric field with respect to the charge which we have taken in the free space and into with respect to the charge. So how I got this one? How I got this expression? Already we have done. What is that? Electric field can be written as electric field intensity can be defined as force per unit charge. Correct or not? From the same expression, now I am going to write the coulombic repulsive force can be written as electric field into electric field means electric field intensity into charge present in that particular medium. So here we are taking the medium is free space. So the electric field intensity due to any surface, okay, what is electric field intensity due to any surface, line of surface or surface element? Already we have done, that is the starting electric field intensity applications. There we have done. What is that? It should be rho by 2 epsilon naught, rho by 2 epsilon naught. And here, what is the charge with respect to that particular surface? Charge will be written as, already we know, charge will be written as, how you'll write? Q is equal to rho into ds. Q is equal to rho into ds, correct? Q is equal to rho into ds. Take this and substitute here, it should be rho ds, correct? And here you can write, after simplifying, what you will get here, rho square ds by 2 epsilon naught. This is the repulsive force what we got, correct? But okay, in another 10 minutes, this link is going to expire. I request everyone, please join with the same link once this closes. Okay, thank you. Now I'm continuing this. So force, repulsive force we got, how much we got? Rho square ds by 2 epsilon naught we got. Up to here it is fine. So we got, right? Now, but here the mechanical force per unit area is also can be called as what? Anyone can give me the definition of this? Mechanical force per unit area is also can be called as, any one of you. Just I want to give different definitions from this electric potential. Okay, so we know potential difference, already we know electric field intensity. Now, so please respond. What is this mechanical force per unit area? Anyone? What is that? That can be called as mechanical force per unit area. Force per unit charge, we call it as electric field intensity. Okay, work done per unit charge can be called as electric potential. Now I am asking force per unit area. So what it be? Any one of you guys, because you are all our electronics and communication students, you should give this, and already you read this in your intermediate too, right? Even for MSET exams also you might have prepared, correct? So you have to give this answer. Okay, no problem. If you don't remember, here the mechanical force per unit area can also be called as pressure. Correct? So now this can be written as, so I'm going to define this pressure, okay, with respect to these charges. So how we'll write now? Already P is equal to force per unit area. So force per unit area means this can be written as F by ds. So already we know F. What is F we got now? You people may ask, what is this ds? So this ds is called the unit area element of that particular, okay, width of rod, otherwise wire, width, having some negligible width, like that you can take. Okay, so if here we are taking surface, so that's why same I'm using here also some surface. So it should be written as force per unit surface area, right, with respect to that particular small area element. So here force already we got, what do we got? The force rho square, what we got? Rho square ds by 2 epsilon naught into here what is ds. So now ds will get cancelled. Now my pressure with respect to this force per unit surface area can be written as rho square by 2 epsilon naught. But since rho can also be written as, how can you write rho? Anyone can guess how we can write rho? Rho can also be written as epsilon naught into E, because the same can also be equal to D, correct? So charge density, displacement density, both are similar, or flux density, both are similar. This part derivation relation between rho and D already we have done, correct? So I'm going to substitute this here. Then this should be epsilon naught square E by 2 epsilon naught. So epsilon naught will get cancelled. Then, then my pressure, it can be written as epsilon naught E by 2, correct? So now epsilon naught E by 2, that means my intention to show to you all is that rho is equal to epsilon naught E means what? Again, we can write either D or rho can be kept. So it should be always half of the flux density. Pressure should be always flux density, or also can be written as rho by 2. So these are the various relations can be taken from the basic definitions. Okay, why I am giving all these things to you? Because when you do numericals, these all help us. That's why I'm saying. Clear? So any questions, please? So I completed electric potential. So anyone can give me the best example for this electric potential difference? Any one of you? What is the best example for this? Any one of you guys? Best example to explain this potential difference or electric potential? Any one of you? What is the best example? Any one of you? Huh?
When we bring a two same pole magnets we apply some.
Yeah, that is one. Yeah, good. Charged conductor. We can say it's a force on any charged conductor. Correct. That is one. The general, any other general silk cloth you can take. All right, silk cloth. You might have done. Correct. That is one. And the best example we can say another one also that is called. Will you accept soap bubble? Soap bubble. Correct. You might have heard, right? Soap bubble also can be treated as one of the best example to explain this. Okay, guys. So this is about electric potential. Now I'm going to take you to the relation between Gauss law and Coulomb's law. And then we'll see potential strength. That means electric potential strength, how it should be calculated. These two things we'll cover today. Okay, so they are simple derivations we'll cover, and then we'll see other. Okay, clear? So another 2 minutes of time is there to close this. So before that, 3 minutes are there. Before that, I'll complete this Gauss law and Coulomb's law. So next, put the heading, all of you. Put the heading, relation between Gauss law and Coulomb's law. Okay, so here I am erasing this. Can I erase? Completed, everyone noted down? If it is okay, then I am erasing. Completed, everyone? Okay, so here I am taking the next example. Sorry, next title. Put the heading, everyone. Before this, before I erase, like Gauss law and so 2.5 minutes time is there, no problem. I will complete. I will diagram if you know derivation you can do. Already we have done the same part. Erase this. Put the heading, everyone. Gauss law and Gauss law. Relation between Gauss law and Coulomb's law. Writing. Relation between Gauss law and Coulomb's law. This is the heading. Now, here I am assuming a positive test charge, and here in free space I have taken, and I'm going to get the relation between these two, because why I'm going to do this means with the help of Gauss law also we can derive Coulomb's law. So how we can derive that? So that is the case. That's why here sometimes this also they're asking regularly in the exam. So that's why I thought to give you all. So how it should be done, right? So everyone should assume a test charge in free space. After assuming the test charge in free space, okay, so here then you have to assume a Gaussian surface with respect to this test charge. So here I am taking a test charge at the center of the sphere. Okay, so somewhere here it's center, and here I am taking a point, okay, at a particular distance R, and I assumed a Gaussian surface. Okay, or the same thing we can also take that a test charge at this particular place also. Okay, so that means here at any point on the spherical surface, the electric field intensity will have the same magnitude and direction normal to the surface. That already from starting onwards we are seeing, correct? So this is about that. And if you take the small area element with respect to this, the distance from center to here is R, already I said. And now the electric lines of force will be E. This already the same diagram we use for Gauss law, but here I'm going to get the relation in between Coulomb's and this. That's why I'm writing this. Okay, so from here the total electric flux from this diagram, okay, the same Gauss law derivation how we did in the similar way I'm taking and I'm putting in front of you. Gauss law is defined as total flux which is coming out of the closed surface should be equal to total charge enclosed by that closed surface, correct? So this should be equal to total charge enclosed by that closed surface, correct? And actually this we have Yeah, students, if you have any questions, please. Here, relation between, already heading I given to you. Again, I'm writing relation between Gauss law and Coulomb's law. Okay, only 4-5 steps required for this. But already we are done. Okay, diagram have it drawn, right? I'm not drawing again. Okay, just now I drawn. You might have drawn, I think, right? So here I am from Gauss law. I have written this phi a is equal to closed integral E dot ds, and this also can be written as E. Correct? Same thing I written. Okay, so here this should be written as E dot ds cos theta, where theta is equal to 0 between E and ds, between E and ds. Correct? Between E and ds. This is the part which we have done. Correct? And now here I'm going to write this as E dot ds. Correct? E dot ds. And this should be equal to the total charge enclosed within the closed surface. Now, if suppose here and this already we already know the same charge spread throughout the sphere. Correct. So from here we can write this as epsilon naught E into S. Okay. After integrating this, we'll get E equal to Q. And where S is the surface area of the sphere. Surface area of the sphere. Sphere with radius R. Smaller. Radius smaller. Is how much? S is equal to 4 pi R squared. Correct? So the same thing here I'm going to put. It should be written as epsilon naught E into 4 pi R squared is equal to Q. Then E is equal to, already we got Q by 4 pi squared. Correct? Now, okay, this is what we got from the Gauss law directly. Now we are going to get the relation between Gauss law and Coulomb's. So if suppose this is about, we know E is equal to Q by 4 pi epsilon R square we got with respect to the charge which is present out here. But if at the spherical surface a second charge, if it is a spherical surface, if a second charge Q naught is placed in that on the sphere, then what happens? Just like I assume, correct? So what happens? It experiences some force, correct? Here, this is what we have done here. So this is our plus Q which I have taken, and this is the point where we have got electric field of lines with respect to small area element and with respect to electric lines of force which is placed at a distance of r. If suppose I assumed another test charge here, correct? If we assume a separate test charge in this particular field, then what happens? It experiences some force. So that force can be written as, how we can write? Because force, electric field intensity can be defined as, force per unit test charge. What is our test charge now? We are taking another test charge in that electric field, that is Q naught. Then here we can write F is equal to E into Q naught. Correct? So now I'm taking this E value and substituting here, then F is equal to Q by 4 pi epsilon naught R square into, what is the test charge here? Q naught. So now what you can say this is called Q naught by 4 pi epsilon naught R square. What is this one? This is called Coulomb's law. Okay, Coulomb's law we are written with the help of Gauss. Correct? So this is about the why, because now basic law is Gauss law. So that means Coulomb's law is the basic definition in electrostatics with respect to the static charges. But here in electromagnetic field theory, the basic definition and basic theorem to be used, that is called Gauss law. So with the help of Gauss law also, Coulomb's law can be derived. Okay, so that's why here I given you the relation between E and Gauss law and this one. What do you call? Gauss law and Coulomb's law. So in exams, they'll ask a question like by using Gauss law, derive the expression for Coulomb's law. Okay, so you have to take the same assumption and you can do this. They will ask this question for 5 marks, sometimes 4 marks, like that they'll ask. Okay, so this is about Gauss law and Coulomb's law. Any questions, please, guys? Now onwards, everything will be easy to you all and you can do. Okay, just only Gauss law you should remember. If you know Gauss law and all the diagrams, by assuming Gaussian surface, you have to work it out. Okay, clear? Guys, is it okay? Okay, if it is clear, then I'll go for the next topic. Is it clear? Anyone of you, please respond. Yeah, someone given message. Good, thank you. So now I'm going to put the heading, everyone. Potential, put the heading, electric potential and field strength. Put the heading, everyone, electric potential and field strength. This also everyone knows. In your intermediate also, you written this derivation and you might have written in exam also, because it's an important question already, you know. You might have done electric potential strength, correct? You might have done this. How many of you remembered electric? Have you remembered anyone? Electric potential and field strength. So put a heading, everyone. Electric potential and field strength. Electric potential and field strength. Okay. How many of you remembered? If I draw the diagram, then everyone will recall. I think so, right? So I will try to put here to you, or you can recall. So here, whenever you want to do this field strength, potential and field strength, so that means electric potential and field strength means the work done, how it will take. Please respond. So here, somebody is speaking, right? Giving answer, I think. So field strength, with the help of field strength, how electric potential should be calculated. So that is the question. So how first what we have to do? We have to assume a field strength. How we do? So here I am taking some electric field of lines. So this is my electric field of lines I am taking. Okay. So after drawing, everyone can recall, I think. Okay. So here I am drawing the electric lines of force, because always the electric lines of force will be uniform. That we know. Okay. Already many expressions we have done. So these are our electric lines of force. So that's why I put arrow to each and everything. Okay. So this is called the electric lines of force with uniform. So this is electric lines of force direction. Okay. Now, so this is fine. So in this case, what I am doing here, I am taking 2 points. Okay. In this field. So somewhere here I am taking. Here I am taking 1 point. Already you might have remembered. You are getting. People are recalling. I think this is B. Correct. So A and B points I have taken in the field. This is the total electric field, and this is the distance from A to B with dotted lines I have shown. Now the distance between A and B I am taking as some distance D. Okay, in terms of distance, D I am putting with some little small d. Okay, what is this D? The D is the separation between the 2 points A and B. Okay, so like this I have taken. This is fine up to here. Now, you people tell me, have you recalled now? At least after drawing this figure, you might have recalled, I think so. No? Okay, so now let a uniform electric field is taken in free space. This is the free space I have taken, and a certain stationary charges I didn't show here. Width of stationary charges, that means ideal condition I have taken. Suppose now I am assuming, suppose a test charge. I am taking a positive test charge. Here I am taking a positive test charge. Some Q naught I am taking. Okay, if I take a positive test charge, okay, so this positive test charge, if I take here, right? So in this case, so what happens here? This positive test charge, the direction of this electric lines of force will be all the direction. Means it will be this side, and Okay, because already the electric lines of force we are taken here with respect to stationary current charges we are taken in downward direction. Okay, and electric field intensity with respect to also E also will be in this direction, but I can't say exactly this should be in this direction. You people also will get confusion. Don't think that this positive test charge means always it should be in all the directions. So already you know if it is positive test charge, it should be in all, correct? So now here I'm taking with respect to this, the positive test charge flow of direction is I'm taking in this direction. Anything you can take, either this side also you take, this side also you can take, this side also you can take, correct? But this is the positive test charge which we have taken. Okay, and now I want to move this positive test charge because this is our electric field direction, means with respect to stationary charges, electric lines of force also in this direction. Now, if suppose I want to move this positive test charge towards this direction with the help of some external energy. So what happens? If that means I'm forcibly moving in the opposite direction. I'm forcibly moving, but already this is the positive test charge, correct? So with this external agent, when I bring, so see, when you move by an external agent without acceleration between points A and B, without any acceleration between points A and B, so here there exists some force. There exists some force. Now I extend this with a small distance I have taken. Of a small distance, if I move this one from Q, then that small distance I can take of some dl. Small distance which I moved forcibly with some external agent without any acceleration between the 2 points A and B in this particular field. Then what happens here? The electric force. So here I'm writing, everyone please write down the electric force. Okay, please note down the electric force with respect to this test charge Q naught, the electric force with respect to this test charge, okay, with respect to this test charge can be written as Q naught into E. Okay, so that means F is equal to Q naught into, this is the expression, correct? So the direction of this force, always the direction of this particular force which we are written here on this is in the direction of electric field strength which points, okay, downwards. So now this we can be taken either it should be taken in positive as well as it can be taken in negative also. How? Because if you take along the positive axis direction, then it should be plus Q naught, correct? But when you take this into the negative direction, then that should be in the opposite direction. Negative direction means in the opposite direction. Then this same, I'm writing the electric force in opposite to the field direction. Q naught in with respect to, here I'm writing shortcut with respect to field direction. And here I'm writing same with in Q naught in opposite to the field direction. In opposite to the field direction. So what happens here? The same force can be written as F is equal to, anyone can give. So this can be minus Q naught. Why? Anybody can guess? Because we are taking this in the opposite direction. So you might have recalled now, right? Already you read this question, correct? Field strength already you learned in your intermediate, correct or not? Remember? No? So here, after moving to a small distance dl, this positive test charge, here the due to external agent, when we help of some external agent, a small distance when you move this positive test charge, then the total work done will be written with respect to the small area element will be written as F into dl, F into dl. So that means now we are moving towards opposite direction. When you are moving to the opposite direction, then what I have to write here? So I can write this work done with respect to this external agent. Here I can write F is equal to, what I have to write now? Anyone? What I have to write? I have to write minus Q naught E dl, because in the opposite direction we moved, correct? With a small distance dl. So here we can write the work done with respect to the small external agent, the test charge which we moved at a distance of dl will be like this, minus Q naught E into dl. Then what is the total work done, when you bring from A to B, then it should be written as like this. The total work done will be written as WAB. Why we are writing? We are writing from A to B, and this should be written as, here I'm writing A to B. What I have written? DW. But actually this I have written here itself, correct? So you can write directly also. Now what you can write? Integral A to B, how you write? Minus Q naught E into DL. Q naught D into DL. Correct? So now after simplifying this, what you'll get? Here we can write this as directly here minus Q integral A to B E dot DL. Now this is fine. Okay. Now, but already we know that from here to here we moved a positive test charge. Then what is the potential difference from A to B? Then the potential difference from A to B will be written as VB minus VA. Earlier I said VA minus VB, but here I am saying VB minus VA. Why? Because now I am moving a test charge from A to B. So then it should be VB minus VA. Earlier we have taken B right hand side, A we have taken left hand side, then there we have written VA minus VB. Correct? So in this case, VB minus VA should be written as the total work done with respect to the unit test charge. Correct? This is the potential difference between the points A and B, electric potential difference between the points B and A. Then the total work done with respect to the unit test charge. The total work done with respect to the unit test charge. So now I'm going to write this here as the potential difference can be electric potential difference between VB minus VA should be written as, what is WAB? WAB already we have here. Take this value and substitute here. Correct? Take this value and substitute here. So this is Q naught. Correct? So take this value and substitute here. Minus Q naught integral A to B E dot DL divided by what we have? Q naught. So here what happens? Q naught will get cancelled. Correct? So now the potential difference can be, electric potential difference can be written as VB minus VA is equal to minus integral A to B E dot DL minus A to B E dot DL. Correct? If I take the reference point is not A, if I take the reference point as infinity, then I can write this electric potential between 2 points should be written as VB. So then VA should be equal to 0. Then this I am writing VB is equal to, what you can write? Minus integral infinity to B E dot L. So this is called the electric potential at a point in the electric field, can be expressed as a line integral of the electric field. Okay, line integral of the electric field. So this is called electric potential difference with respect to field strength. With respect to field strength. Clear? Any questions, please? Anyone of you have any questions? If you have any questions, please. Now, is it okay? Understood, everyone? Okay. Electric potential difference always you have to write in this way. Now, we can also write this in different way also. Okay. How you can write? Because it is a E dot DL. Okay. So electric potential E dot DS. The same electric potential can also be written. Yeah, tell me. Yeah, please. Hello? Yeah, please respond. Somebody is speaking. Anybody having any question? Okay. So this is the electric potential. Now, the same electric potential difference which you have written here, this also can be, because from integral to, in the form of integral, if you want to change this one to into a differential form, then what you have to do? We have to use divergence theorem. Okay, so divergence plays major role. So here I'm writing the same expression can also be written as grad, also can be written as grad, means this grad V dot DL, grad V dot DL, this can be written as del V dot DL. del V dot dl. Whereas del V, so this we have taken for only for the particular direction, but here already with respect to positive charge, we can get in all the directions, correct? So in all the three axes is a possibility is there. So in all the three possibilities there, that's why by using divergence theorem here, by using divergence theorem, okay, here we can write this whole expression can be written as del V dot dl, and this is del V is nothing but, anyone can give what is del V? It's grad V. How will write grad V? Grad V is equal to, so in terms of Laplace, we can write this one as dou V by dou X in respect to I, okay, and plus dou V by dou Y, J, plus dou V by dou Z. Okay, so like this we have to write, because it's a scalar product. Already I said electric potential is a scalar product. So I'm just erasing this diagram to continue this. So you might have understood now, right? If anyone have any questions, please raise your query. And or this also can be, okay, this also can be written as grad V can also be written as like this. Okay, how you can write? This also can be written as dxi plus dy j plus dz. Okay, if the displacement vector dl between A and B is minimum. So like this, we have to write. Now I'm with the help of this. Now I'm going to put E is equal to minus grad V. E is equal to minus grad V. That is called minus del V. This is the. Now, if I want to put this E in terms of all axes, then Ex, okay, I plus Ey j plus Ez k should be written as, how will write now this one? Minus dou V, means minus will be there for whole. So dou V by dou X, correct, into I plus dou V by dou Y, dou V by dou Y into J plus dou V by dou Z into, like this we have to write. This also again I'm saying the same thing. This helps you while doing what we'll do while doing numericals. It helps. So that means the overall expression we can write here as Ex should be, from here Ex should be equal to what you can write, minus dou V by dou X. Why we are going now in slowly in terms of time varying? Anybody can guess? In 3 dimension also we are going slow, one by step by step we are moving. How? 3 dimension. Why we are taking this? All divergence and we are converting them into X, Y and Z axis. Anybody? Because the total potential gradient in each and every direction is very important, right? So to work out for that, we are working. So here electromagnetic wave means it should not be in a particular direction. It should be in, always it should be in 3-dimensional. So in 3-dimensional view means it should be like this. This is called electromagnetic spectrum. This is the actual electromagnetic spectrum. That is the propagation of any electromagnetic wave where it travels in free space or any particular medium, then it should travel in this direction like this. So that means whenever you want to give an electromagnetic wave, first you should know the mathematics of E, and means the mathematical relation between E and B. Then it is easy for us to put for the form of electromagnetic wave. So that's why I am taking this in this way. So now Ex is equal to minus dou V by dou X, correct? Similarly, Ey, Ez, we can write. Now, if suppose in case of polar coordinates, if I take with respect to some radial distance or radius vector along with of radius vector, if I take, and how this expression will become? This same expression can also be written as Er is equal to minus dou V by dou R. Er is equal to minus dou V by dou R. Okay, but as of now, I'm not going in that detail. When it comes in terms of numerical and same, we have to work out in electromagnetic waves. In terms of 3rd and 4th units, we'll do that. Here, so this is about electric potential and field strength. So the topics left over are convection and conduction currents. So that part I will take the next class. Any questions, please? Okay, but running notes is very important. Practice is also very important. Okay, so in the next class, maximum I will try. If not completes, I'll cover in the other class. But this week I will complete this. Okay, so any questions? Anyone have any question? Please respond. Students, is it clear? So today we have seen for electric potential and electric potential difference and electric potential and field strength. And before this, we have seen Coulomb's law or Coulomb's repulsive force from Gauss law. These are the topics we have covered today. So any questions, please? Guys, if you have any questions, please respond.
No doubt, sir. Clear, sir.
Yeah, if it is clear, then I will close. And Ganesh, I request you to please share the attendance. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you are helping a lot. All the people are helping. Thank you so much. Okay, so take care, all of you. So I'm winding up. Thank you, everyone. You can leave the meeting.